have a boss or a supervisor who does not support you at all. If anything, they undermine you, they sabotage your efforts, they make you work and work and work and then take credit for your work. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Keli. This channel is called Reimagining the Workplace. Now that we talked about what unhealthy or toxic workplaces is, in today's episode we are going to talk about signs that you're working at a toxic workplace. We are going to mention some of the few things that we spoke about in the last episode. I would like to apologize first before we go on. I have a bit of a cold, a flu, and it's affecting the way I'm speaking, so kindly bear with me. Yeah, let's dive right into it. Sign number one that you're working at a toxic workplace. Your boss is hella unprofessional. What do I mean by this? Bosses are supposed to show us the way. They're supposed to be leaders. That's why they are leaders at the workplace. If you have a boss who is unprofessional, you will know. They will come to work late in the name of their bosses. They will have discrimination at the workplace. They will not treat employees the same way. Some employees will get a higher reprimanding compared to others. They will show favoritism, which is more or less like discrimination. They will do everything that is unprofessional at the workplace. They will insult, like we spoke about in the other episode. They will insult you. They will abuse you. They'll be abusive. They will pressure you to work under pressure. They will make you do work that is unattainable. They'll give you goals that are unattainable. For example, they'll just be, unprofessional at the workplace. Yeah, so you're working at a toxic place if your boss is like that. They are unprofessional, they don't care about professionalism, yet they want you to be professional. I read somewhere that I think it was 65% of people who want to leave work, they want to leave work because of their bosses. Imagine that. Not because they are of low pay or because of other factors, but 65% of employees want to leave work because of their bosses or their immediate supervisor, because they are not professional. Sign number two, your co-workers are also unprofessional. Listen, if the overall boss is unprofessional, even the people who come below him, the managers, the supervisors, all the way to the lowest person in that organization is going to be unprofessional. Unprofessional workers do not take their jobs seriously. They will be loitering around in the office, always trying to distract other employees from doing their job. They'll speak vulgar languages. They don't care how they speak to employees, especially male employees who do not respect boundaries at the workplace. They will be busy flirting, especially with the female colleagues, or even the other way around. Anyone can misbehave in that area. Yeah, professional co-workers will be gossiping around. They'll spend time talking about other employees. Generally a place where co-workers are not professional is a toxic workplace, and something needs to be done about that. If you're working at such a place, then you need to do something about that. You need to address that. Another sign that you're working at a toxic workplace is that there will be no life work balance. In the previous episode, we said that 70% of your time annually is spent at the workplace. That's a long time. That's a long time. So any employer will be unfair to expect you to spend or to give more than the 70% that you're already giving them in your year. That is toxic. That should not be allowed at any workplace. No employee should be made to feel like they are lazy because they do not work extra hours. And there should be balance. There should be balance between your life and your work. Work is important, but your life is even more important because you are able to do that job because your life is okay, because you're able to find time to exercise, you're able to find time for yourself, you're able to find time to spend with your family and with your friends and to entertain yourself. All those things are important and they need to be balanced. So if you feel like you're working too much as compared to how much time you get for yourself to even rest, for example, then you should know that that is a bad sign. It means that your work is toxic and that needs to be changed. Another sign that you are working at a toxic workplace is when you don't feel excitement about the job anymore. Most times when you start a new job, there's that excitement that comes with it, especially when you see yourself starting assignments and accomplishing them, or accomplishing them successfully. There's that excitement that you always feel, and you feel ready to wake up every morning, ready to face any challenges, new challenges. But if that stops, if you don't feel like you want to wake up in the morning and go to work, you're not excited anymore. I understand there are those things that there's those times you will feel like Monday blues, for example, and especially if you're not a morning person, there's that struggle that comes with waking up in the morning. But that is normal. I'm talking about feeling complete concerned or unwillingness to go to work in the first place. It is toxic, especially if you feel it over and over again every day. When you wake up, when you're on your way to work, you just feel like, where am I going? That excitement is gone, you don't feel it anymore. Then it's possible that your workplace is toxic, your co-workers are not good people, and you don't want to go face that at work, or your boss is not a good person, and generally you don't want to go and have another bad day at work. Yeah. Another sign that your workplace is toxic is, I know we've talked about bosses, but is when you have a boss or a supervisor who does not support you at all. If anything, they undermine you, they sabotage your efforts, they make you work and work and work and then take credit for your work. They gossip about you with other colleagues, like they talk about you with other colleagues, they discuss you, they discuss your work, they discuss your conduct. Generally, as a boss who is not supportive, sorry, anytime you probably want to advance in career, they're there blocking you, making you think that it's not going to do anything to you, because because generally they are afraid that you're going to come and take their job. If your boss is unsupportive, if you give them ideas and they think those ideas are not valuable, yet you know they are valuable, they can bring changes to the organization, then that's a toxic workplace. Unsupportive bosses will block your opportunities. They'll even prevent you from getting any promotions. When there's, for example, work appraisals, they will make you fail in work appraisals so that they prevent you from getting any promotions because they don't want you to reach their level. Yeah, so if your boss is like that, then 100% your workplace is toxic and you need to do something about it. Another sign that your workplace is toxic is when your employer encourages unhealthy competition at the workplace. I mean, there's healthy competition at the workplace, but unhealthy work competition can look like when he throws employees against each other, when he praises other employees more than others, yet all of them are performing, when repercussions or reprimanding or any punishments that you get at the workplace are biased, or they don't treat each employee the same, even though it's the same mistakes that they have done. One is reprimanded in a particular way, the other one is reprimanded in a particular way, different ways, even though the mistake was the same. Yeah, so if you have an employer who encourages unhealthy competition at the workplace, then that's a bad employer, that's a toxic employer, and you need to change that employer. Yeah. Another sign that your workplace is toxic is where your point of view is not listened to, it's not taken seriously. Some employers will come to employees, they'll ask questions, maybe they'll call you for a meeting, they'll have you discuss a particular matter, and you will give your point of view, but at the end of the day, the employer will do what they want to do. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, they will call you because it's part of it's a policy that has been laid out or has been put up by the company for, before making a particular decision, I have to meet so and so and so who are maybe supervisors or in the same level, managerial level or something like that. They'll call you, they'll ask you to give your views about a particular issue, but at the end of the day, no one was listening. Even though you've given out very good points that are supposed to improve productivity or to improve the probably sales or marketing, whatever, but at the end of the day, that boss will do whatever they wanted to do, or the employer will still go ahead and do what they want to do. I have an example. During COVID-19, I was working for an employer who, because other employers in the country or even worldwide were slashing employee salaries, they felt it was important for them to call us for a meeting and have a discussion about that. We met on Zoom because that time people were not working from the office, we were all working from home. We had a Zoom meeting, we had a lengthy conversation, we agreed on something, only for us to realize that when it was time for actually we were talking about salaries, we were talking about how much percentage we will be slashed out of our salaries, monthly salaries, but they ended up cutting the percentage that they wanted to cut, which was not mutually agreeable to all of us. And then that like beat the purpose. Why did you call us for the meeting if at the end of the day you are still going to do whatever it is that you wanted to do? Another sign that your workplace is toxic is when your time is not respected. I know we've talked about this in the previous episode where we were trying to describe what a toxic workplace is, but it's important to note that if you're working at a place and they do not respect your time, they do not respect that it's my lunch time and I'm supposed to be out of my desk, or it's home time and I'm supposed to leave for work, then that's a toxic place. When you go home, bosses are calling you all the time. They do not respect time off work where you're supposed to be spending with your family or even resting, for example. They do not care. They just call you even for things that are not important, things that are not urgent, things that can wait until the following morning when you're in the office. Then that means that place is toxic. So generally, how do you know that you're working at a toxic work environment? If just the mere thinking of work stresses you, just imagining work, when work is mentioned, then something happens to your spirit that is not a good thing, that is not exciting, that is stressful. That's how you know you are working at a toxic workplace. And like we said in the previous episode, your gut is always right. Your gut will always tell you this is not right, this is not normal, and you're supposed to obey your spirit. You're supposed to obey your gut. If it says it's not normal, it's not right, then obey and do something about it, because at the end of the day, we are supposed to work at healthy work environments. We deserve to work at healthy work environments. We deserve that. Yeah, so once again, thank you so much for staying with me. Thank you for working with us until this point. And if you'd like us to continue having these discussions, I would like to ask you to subscribe to this channel, and we are going to be sharing more and more of these things as we walk along in this journey in an effort to create happy workers, good and healthy work environments that are balanced and that glorify God. Bye-bye.